There we go. We got Zephram back.
Hello?
Hi, Zephram. Yeah, hi.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Great. Yourself? Where are you calling from?
Frisco.
Frisco. Okay. What can we do for you, Zephram?
So I was just curious, I know because of the burden of proof it's not all that necessary, but I was curious what you think the greatest evidence against religion coming from a psychological or scientific standpoint would be.
The greatest? Well, that depends on what the specific claim is, right?
Right.
So there's no one monolithic claim of religion, right?
Oh yeah, I know. I just mean
religion's a thing. I mean, give me a particular religion or a particular formulation of that religion and a particular definition of the God, and then we can start picking it apart.
Let's take Christianity for example.
Okay. Which kind of Christian God? Because there's a whole bunch of them too.
Yeah. One for each one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much experience I have on the different personal gods or different gods from different branches of Christianity, but
well, some of them can be shot down really easily by the problem of evil, right?
That's true.
If it's a three omnis God, that there's no such thing, right? I mean, they can retreat to crazy arguments about how certain terrible things are in fact good, and a lot of them do retreat there, but not all of them are gonna present their God as three omnis.
But that's from and I totally agree with that, but that's from a more philosophic perspective.
Yeah.
And
you were
when it comes to
psychologically.
that, they like to ignore it. They like to ignore the problems that exist with their gods. So.
Well, sure, of course they do.
yeah, I know. But it's more difficult to ignore evidence, but it's also very difficult to get any on the
well, right.
God
You need to have evidence against a God. It's like, this gets to the question of is absence of evidence of absence, and actually it can be as long as the presence of a thing leads automatically and undeniably to certain kinds of evidence, and when you look and it's not there, that is actually evidence of the absence of the thing that there should be evidence for and there isn't.
Yes.
Did you have more on this?
Psychologically speaking, yes. I think people have an innate primal need to believe certain things. Like, first of all, that the most important thing in the universe is me. That's self-preservation. And it is, I think, something that's born into us genetically because of natural selection. Those who thousands of years ago didn't care too much about their own needs first didn't make it long enough to pass on their genes. But nowadays it's a little different, but still people have fear and suspicion about the universe around them, and they need a psychological security blanket. Many people do still, and it's, I think, totally natural, but that people get psychologically desperate and want to grab onto something that seems to be very reassuring, even if it's not really tangible. And in this day and age, we can replace that with things that are real and a way to make sure of that. But the old ways are still very based on primitive psychological needs that humans have, and probably always will, I think.
Yeah. Anything else, Zephram?
No, that's
on
about
that?
it.
Okay.
I was just curious if there were any names for those kind of things, the
Names?
psychological aspect.
Oh.
The name of the psychological need for that.
You have that, Joe?
A security blanket
Okay.
paradigm?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Zephram.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
You are welcome. Thanks for calling. And that's great to hear that the sound and video quality is going out there at high quality. So yay! Once again, good going to the engineers. It's right. So I was talking about this thing. These Christian psychiatry people. I'm not sure exactly what the correct term is. We're abusing this actual thing called rational something therapy. Anyway, they were taking a real thing in psychology, which says you should be believing true things and not believing false things, and then bringing Christianity into the mix and saying, well, obviously Christianity is true, So if you're not Christian, you're nuts.
See, one
I
would
wonder
think-
what happened to these people.
One would think that that would be actually wise if they're already in that mindset. So to bring something totally alien to them, like there's no God, that might shock them a little at that time. That I wouldn't really agree to continue deceiving people, but if somebody needs to be treated gently, like maybe that's...
Yeah, I might be okay with it as if it was merely, oh, this patient is Christian, so we're going to treat them with an understanding that that is their worldview. But these guys are going much further.
Yeah.
They were essentially defining anything non-Christian as nuts. So, and that was a fun story. I remember doing